It's spooky season, babies, so grab your favorite candy, brew a cup of whatever you want to drink, put on your fuzziest socks, and we're going to dive into where Halloween started. Modern-day Halloween is the evolution and amalgamation of tons of different pagan holidays and traditions, but the most influential one is probably the Celtic Samhain. Now, I'll say it again slowly because even I mess it up sometimes. Samhain. So comparatively little is known about Celtic paganism versus other paganism, but you'll see a lot of the rituals and traditions and celebrations that we celebrate today come from Celtic paganism. Pagan Celts divided each year into summer and winter, and within that framework there were 4 festivities. Imbolc, which was celebrated on February 1st, Beltane was celebrated on May 1st, and that was the end of winter. August 1st brought Lughnasadh, and October 31st brought Samhain. Now, Samhain is pretty much a harvest festival, and it marked when one pastoral year ended and the other one began. Now, you may be saying to yourselves, yeah, duh, I already know that. But what you may not know is that this ritual stems from a site that you probably have never heard of. Rathcroghan is an archaeologically rich site in the county Roscommon. This county in Ireland contains 240 known archaeological sites throughout a 6.5 kilometer, which is about a 4-mile radius. Not much accurate information exists about this time because the Roman Catholic missionaries viewed the Celts as barbarians, so anything that was written about them was through a pretty biased lens. One place that was written about was the Oweynagat Cave, or the Cave of Cats, and Roman Christian missionaries referred to it as Ireland's gate to hell. In reality, though, pagan Celts referred to this cave as a portal to their otherworld, or Tir na Nog. In the Celtic mindset, the otherworld was neither heaven nor hell in the way that Christianity viewed it. The otherworld was a place of bounty, eternal youth, prosperity, and a place that was accessible to the living. Now, this realm was reached a number of different ways, whether it was going over unknown seas, going under specific lakes, or going into the bowels of the earth itself. The entrance passage at Oweynagat houses 2 Ogham inscriptions, which is an early alphabet. Surviving inscriptions are rarely found in County Roscommon or really anywhere in West Ireland. The legible example of the inscription method actually records the names of warrior Queen Maeve and the warrior Freach, which are the earliest recorded mentions of these 2 legendary figures in any literature. Now, Rathcroghan wasn't a proper city center. It didn't have buildings, it didn't have houses. It was the meeting place and central locale for all of the surrounding area's festivities. During Samhain, Rathcroghan was insanely busy, and it had rituals including the cleansing of animals and the protection of homes. This was followed by enormous feasting of the recently harvested meat resources, and included smaller ceremonies such as wedding contracts, burial of important dead, and other communal activities. Festival goers also made ritual offerings to the spirits of the otherworld. This murky, subterranean dimension was inhabited by Celtic fairies, devils, and leprechauns, and during Samhain, some of them escaped through Oweynagat Cave. These manifestations were said to have been guided out of the cave by a goddess of battle, Morrigan, or the Phantom Queen. She was said to have been a shape-shifting spirit that would use her forms to control the world around her, some of which were a hooded crow, a red-eared heifer, or a washerwoman. She opens and closes that portal to the otherworld on that last day between autumn and winter, which allows the process of winter to take hold. Demons would spill forth from the cave and ravish the landscape in order to prepare for winter. Thankful for the agricultural efforts of the demons, but wary of falling victim to them, the ancient Celts would protect themselves by lighting giant bonfires on hilltops and in fields. And to avoid being dragged deep into the otherworld by these demons, they would themselves dress up as ghouls and monsters to trick the spirits. So in essence, they were tricking the demons by dressing up, but they were also treating them by giving them ritual sacrifices. Despite these amazing legends and the massive amount of history buried at Rathcron, you could literally drive right by it and not know until you hit the next town. Not only has Rathcron never been dug up, it actually predates Ireland's written history. The site actually attracts astonishingly few visitors, but if you did want to visit Ireland's Hell Cave, you would have to drive one way down a dead-end road, traverse a waterlogged field, find under a clutch of trees a tiny triangle-shaped opening to the cave. Now, the bravest are free to hop a fence and descend into the depths of the cavern, but bear in mind that this would have been enormously risky during Samhain, whether or not you were wearing a devilish disguise. Whether dodging demons or competing for candy, for the ancient Celts and today's kids alike, October 31st is a high-stakes operation. One key difference though, the ghouls that marauded on Samhain were gifted with animal carcasses instead of candy. Nowadays, the monsters that roam Halloween probably have no idea that they're following in the footsteps of an ancient buried Celtic kingdom's supernatural beasts and a hell cave. I love Halloween, and I'm sure many of you do too. So tell me below in the comments what you wore this year or what your favorite costume has been. And until next time, thank you for visiting New Orleans. I love you, babies.